So you connect from this point down to the half inch that you went in by. Okay, so you connect like this, all right. And so you go ahead and do the same for the front. Do we see that? Okay, so please, for the bust line we didn't rule that, so you'd have to rule that, you'd have to rule it so that you know that this is your bust point. Okay, so ensure that you label your lines so that they will not be looking, there will not be so much lines. All right, so this is your chest line, this is your bust line, then this is your chest line for the back. All right, and so you take your curve ruler and then you just curve like this. Ensure that the curve is sitting on this line, so you just curve. Your back armhole and your front armhole are not the same because the front carries your bust but the back doesn't. All right, so you go ahead and just also curve for the back like this. Okay, do we see that? All right, now so for the back tightening, you go to the back and you measure on this line. This is your half back, so you can just write it so that you don't get confused. This is your half back, this is not the original line for the back. We can decide to clean it. This is not what we need for the back, it's only the front that will be needing this line for. So oh shit, so you'd come in by half inch for the back tightening so that you don't have that puff, you know. So you come in by half inch like this. Do we see that? You come in by half inch like this, and the next thing you just do is to slant. Okay, because this part of your back is inside, there's a way the back it's not so straight, it's like this. All right, so this is the way your back is, then your rotors like this. This is your back. So you see, this is the point that we have here, so it has to go inside. All right, so that's how why we went in by half inch, and then you just roll like this. Okay, so what we did here, so the next thing we're going to be doing is to take our dart. Okay, so that is where your bust span measurement comes in. Mine is 6.5, so if the 6.5 you divide it by 2, this is 6.5, and you see that you just go ahead and divide it by 2. What you have is 3.05. That is 3 and quarter, or 3 2 line like some designers will say. It's actually 3.05. So you just come over to this point and then you mark your 3.25. So you move over to this point. For the back, you notice that I'm not starting from this point, I'm starting from this other leg. All right, so you mark like this. Okay, do we see that? So you'd also move over to your bust point and you also measure your 2.25 so that your lines would not be slant. So you just come here and then you connect like this. All right, you connect like this, and then for the back you go move over to the chest line and come down by 1 inch. You come down by 1 inch. And all right, so you just rule a straight line to connect that point. Okay, so this is it. So now for my dart, I actually will be taking 1 inch for my dart. So that's 1 inch I'm going to share it across. That is 50% tightening. but you can decide to use 1.5. Okay, but I'm not so big, that's why I'm using 1 inch for my darts. But if the person is big, you can even use 2 inches to get a good fitting. All right, but as I am, I can also use 1.5, but I choose to use 1 inch for myself. All right, so that 1 inch you share it into two. So um 0.5 here, 0.5 here. That is half inch here, half inch here. All right, so this is what you do, and then you just go ahead and connect like this. Okay, just go ahead and connect like this. Okay, so you move over to the back, and then you do the same thing for the back as well. And then let's just do a neckline tightening. Most times you discover that when you sew for people, it's like the neck of your clothes is actually what's it called? The neckline is actually not so tight, it's free. So that's the essence of this actually. That's the essence of the neckline tightening. So it doesn't change anything, it doesn't spoil anything. So for the front, you come down by half inch. Then for the back, 0.25. That is quarter inch for the back. So tighten the neckline. Okay. So that you have a good fit. So this is it. And then this is it. Okay. Do we see that? So that's your neckline tightening. That is your neckline tightening. But then you just go ahead. This place you notice that it's like the line went inside, and then the curve is no longer touching at 3 inches. You adjust it. That is the essence of pattern. So that you correct any mistake you want to correct on your block. Alright. So this is it. Okay. Can we see that? Then the next thing you do is to take your measurement. Now my bust measurement is 33. All right, so when I divide it, 33 divided by 4, it's actually 8.05. So on the chest line I would mark 8.05. Then for the back chest line I will go ahead and also mark you can decide to start from here, because definitely what we remove from here, 0.25, would have added it here. So you start from this other line, 8.25. So you go to your bust line and you mark the same thing, 8.25. All right, so then my shaping waist is actually 28. So I'll divide 28 by 4. If I divide 28 by 4, what I will have is 7. Okay, so this is 7. I'll go ahead and mark my 7. And then this 1 inch that I remove from the dart, I'll go ahead and add it up here, so that my measurements will not be too small later on. Okay, so the same thing with here. I'm no longer starting from here, I'll start from here. So what I have is 7. All right, so I added the 1 inch for the dart, and what I have is 8. So you take your ruler and then you just connect like this. Okay, let's see that. So by the time we take our dart, usually the measurement is supposed to be like, let me just use dotted line. So by the time we take our dart, it will give this shape. Okay, so do we see that, guys? this is our half scale block, our half scale bodice block. This is used for peplon. If you want to do a bustier, you can also use this. But usually when you have something you want to attach to your blouse, that is when you use this measurement. So it's quick and simple. Try this and let me know what the outcome is. All right, so before then, now some of you might be asking, the back and the front, how do we now make them fit since the front is longer? So what you'd actually do is to you see the 1 inch difference with from your back and your front, you come to the bust point and then you mark 1 inch here. Do we see that? And then you get the half of 1 inch is actually 0.5, so you mark 0.5 here. Do we see that? 0.5 here. Then from this line you just go out by 0.75. 0.75, it's 2 lines after your half inch. That is 0.75. Okay, so do we see that from the bust line we actually mark down what we removed, or the difference between our front and our back? For some persons, their half length can be 16 and their half back is 14. So what they will have is 2 inches. They will mark it and then take the half, which is 1 inch. For mine, it is 1 inch difference. All right. So what I'll go ahead and do is to from the chest line down to this half inch that I measured, I'll just take a straight line like this, and then I'll go ahead and also just blend it up. Just go ahead and blend it up like this. Just go ahead and blend it up. Just go ahead and blend it up. Do we see that? And the next thing you want to do, is to, from your that point on your bust line, you just connect down to the 1 inch that you measured like this. Okay, so by the time we close this place, by the time we close it up, it would fit in with the back. So I'll just use my paper scissors to cut this out like this so that you would understand it better. So I'll just go ahead and separate them like this. Okay, so this is it. Just show you that. Okay, see what I'm doing? Just ensure that you replicate it so that you won't actually be having any issue. It's not the easiest thing to do, but you have to try to do it. All right. Okay, just ensure that they blend up. All right. So, and then you use your tracing wheel. Mine is not looking equal, so you just use your tracing wheel to just blend up if it's not looking equal. Okay. So and I'll go ahead and use my tape. And just comb it down like this. Okay. You see that? So this is it. So remember that this is actually the bust line. So just roll down straight so that when you want to cut, this is the line that you're going to cut through. Alright, this is the line you're going to cut through. Let me just clean the lines that are not needed. Okay. Do we see that? So it would definitely blend up by the time you sew. Okay, so that is it. All right, thank you very much. I'm going to be showing you how to trace the half scale to the to make the full scale in my next video. Ensure that you try this, take a picture of it, and then send to me. Ensure it's looking like what we have here. All right, thank you.